Hey, and welcome to a quick discussion video here on the channel. And I'd just like to discuss something that was announced today, which is iPadOS 16. Actually, a lot of stuff was announced today at the Worldwide Developer Conference, or WWDC 2022. And Apple came out with a new MacBook Air, and then the M2 chip, and watchOS 9, iPadOS 16, and iOS 16, which will be coming later this year. And something that I was looking forward to, and I sort of knew the answer to, was whether the old iPad Air 2, the jolly old iPad Air 2 that I have been praising for years and years, would actually get iPadOS 16, but sadly, as expected, that is not the case. So iPadOS 15 is to be the last update this iPad will ever get, which was really impressive to begin with, as it was supported for many years. So before we jump right into all the details about it, as usual, don't forget to smash that like button down below, as it helps this video get on YouTube's algorithm. And also don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and ring that bell notification button so you're notified whenever I upload a new video. Also, don't forget to leave a comment down below and let me know what you think about iPadOS 16. Did you watch the event in detail? Do you own an iPad Air 2? Or any questions you may have, just leave a comment down below or start a discussion, and we can discuss whatever you like down in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to check out my social media, which is linked down in the description below, which includes Instagram, Discord, and Twitter. And now let's jump right into this video. Alright, so firstly, for a bit of history on the iPad Air 2, which is on the surface the longest supported Apple device as of now is concerned. It is the longest supported device. It ran 8 operating systems and it was supported by 7 operating system updates. So this thing was launched in 2014, so 8 years ago in 2014, and it was supported right up to 2021, which is 7 years of updates. So this thing shipped with iOS 8.1. So before it was iPadOS, it shipped with iOS 8.1. So iOS 9, 10, 11, 12, iPadOS 13. So it started with 13, so it became iPadOS 13, then iPadOS 14 and iPadOS 15. However, since it did run iOS 8 as well, we count that as well. So iOS 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, iPadOS 13, 14, 15. So that is 8 supported OSs as a whole, which is easily the longest supported Apple device as far as I know. There's no Apple device that was ever supported that much. The only other one that came close was the iPhone 6s, which also supported iOS 15, and that was like 6 updates and 7 OSs as a whole. So that is really impressive. This thing has had a long career, and regarding all the other videos that I've done in the past with this thing, even last year after it got the iPadOS 15 update, a lot of people in the comments have said that they still use this thing. It's still usable on a daily basis and stuff like that. Now this unit, which is my personal unit that I've had for a while now, I bought it in Singapore and I've kept it in meticulously good condition. As you can see here, it's basically brand new, and its battery is in also really good condition. It holds a charge for a couple of days if on light use. So iPad batteries do last longer than iPhone batteries on a whole, because they're bigger and they can take a bit more abuse over time. However, I always kept this thing above 30% charge, and I never overused it until it got too hot. I turned it off at night when it was possible. I really took care of this iPad. However, if you're getting a used one, you should definitely look into the battery condition of the iPad. It depends on how the previous owner used it. Maybe it wasn't used that well. Maybe it was used in a school and the battery was constantly being charged or whatever. However, according to the comments left on my older videos, which you can find up on my channel, by the way, by going to the channel and typing iPad Air 2 in the sub search box, you'll see that a lot of those comments say that they were perfectly happy using the iPad Air 2 in 2021 as well, for basic tasks like Googling stuff, social media, browsing the web for other things, books, whatever, a bit of gaming here and there. It was still a perfectly usable iPad iPad as of iPad OS 15, and since I've been using it occasionally as well, but not entirely, because I have an iPad Pro with an Apple Pencil 2 that I use mainly now, but I've used this thing on and off, and I can say with a lot of confidence that this is, even in 2022, very, very usable. It hasn't slowed down too much. Of course, with so many updates, it will slow down a bit over time. However, it hasn't considerably slowed down to call it unusable at all. This thing is a perfectly usable device. If you can get this thing for cheap, like below $100, maybe below even $80, definitely go for it, as if you really need it for basic stuff, this thing will be good for a few more years to come, as though it just got up to iPad OS 15, security updates and patches will still come to this thing for at least another 3 years-ish minimum, because I keep using this example as well, but if you remember the iPhone 4S, that thing was released in I can't remember, 2011. The iPhone 4S, as you can see on the screenshot here, got a security update in 2019. A phone that was released in 2011 got a security update in 2019. So going by that record, considering how popular the iPad Air 2 is, Apple has the ability to see who's still using iPad Air 2s, just like they did to see who's using iPhone 4Ss back then. And when they see that a lot of people are using the iPad Air 2 for many more years to come, they'll think, okay, we still have to send them security updates because they're still using the older devices. So because that demand exists, Apple will still send security updates to this thing, just like they did for the iPhone 4S. And there are a lot of people still using the iPhone 4S in 2019, hence why Apple sent those updates. So expect the same for the iPad Air 2. I can say with 100% certainty, this will get a lot of updates in terms of security for at least another 3 years. So you're covered in the in the security update department. So that's good to hear. So if you just want a basic iPad, this thing is still a solid device to go. And I will be doing a full video on using the iPad Air 2 in 2022. So definitely stay tuned for that by hitting the subscribe button. Now, to answer a question that most probably everyone will be asking me down in the comment section below, could this thing have run iPad OS 16? Yeah, it actually could have run iPad OS 16 decently, but I don't think the upgrade would have been worth it. Maybe Apple definitely tried running this in their testing, running this thing on iPad OS 16, and then the results were not that good. So they probably thought, let's just leave it with 15. It's running great on 15. We don't want to ruin it. And I'm 100% in support of that, because it is running just fine on 15. We don't want it to be ruined by upgrading it to something that it cannot run. For example, the iOS 9 on the iPhone 4S fiasco, you know how that went down. That was horrible. iOS 9 did not run well on the iPhone 4S, no matter what they did to it. So they don't want to repeat that. So definitely a good thing that it ended with 15. It ended on a good note. It still performs well, and it's good for a few more years with iPad OS 15. So thumbs up to that. However, it's still sad to see the thing go. You saw earlier, here's again the screenshot, the iPad Air 3 or third generation is the one that will support iPad OS 16 after years and years and years, after 8 years of continued support and the immense popularity of this device. It is finally time to say goodbye. However, if you still choose to use one for basic needs, this thing is good to go. And I keep using the word basic. However, there's nothing basic about the iPad Air 2. This thing is loaded with features. It got the widgets on iPad OS 15. The widgets are really helpful. And there's just so much of things that this thing can do. It hasn't slowed down considerably at all. This thing functions really well, and definitely stay tuned for that video that I said I'll do. And I'll cover all the speed details, the performance details, the apps that are still supported, how long it'll be supported in terms of apps, etc., etc. I have to go into detail on all of that. So definitely not the most basic thing ever, because this thing still can handle a lot, which is nice to see. This thing is still continuing in some form or another, even though it has been officially discontinued by Apple in terms of software updates. It's sad to see it go. However, this thing will live on for many more years in terms of people who don't want to spend too much money on an iPad, just need it for a reasonable use over time, this thing will have many more years in it. So if you own one of these, just don't be disheartened that you didn't get the update, because this thing is still good to go. This thing is still chugging along, and like I said, it will chug along for at least 3 more years in terms of security updates. And if you're not doing too much web-based stuff, and you're not going to like shady websites and stuff, you should be fine even after that, to go to major websites like Facebook and all that stuff, even after the security updates stop. So yeah, this was just a quick discussion about the update situation on the iPad Air 2 and it finally being discontinued in terms of updates. It has so much life left in it, so that's just nice to see. However, everything eventually has to go away when it is this old, but it's just a huge testament to the iPad Air 2 and how long it has served its users and still continues to serve and will continue to serve for many more years to come, even though it does not it's not actively supported in terms of features and stuff. But security will last, and even after security updates stop, things will still be usable to a certain extent. Easily the longest supported Apple device in history. A big thumbs up from me. Definitely one of the greatest Apple devices ever released, because it just outlasted so many things of its time. It's just a testament to Apple's security updates. Now, I know Apple gets a lot of crap for slowing down. Some people say they slow down their phones, etc., etc. But I honestly think if you maintain your battery and keep it in good condition, it's not going to slow down. My one is living proof of that. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of other ones that have been taken care of like this that still work just fine, because I cannot find any flaws with this thing after so many years of use. The battery holds a charge, everything works well. So if you really have like stuttering issues or battery failure issues and stuff like that, it's probably because yours wasn't either used well or was just overused and not taken care of. So I can say safely that this unit that I've been using for such a long time still has a lot of life in it. And yeah, so that was just a quick discussion on the iPad Air 2 and its final discontinuation in terms of software updates. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as usual, don't forget to smash that like button down below if you honestly like this video, and also don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and ring that bell notification button so you're notified whenever I upload a new video, especially the upcoming video on using the iPad Air 2 in 2022. Definitely stay tuned for that. Also, don't forget to leave a comment down below and let me know what you think about the iPad Air 2. Do you own one? Do you plan on getting one for basic use? Did you own one at some point? Or you want to ask a question or just start a discussion? Leave a comment down below. Definitely, we can start a discussion, or I can answer your questions. Don't forget to check out my social media, which is linked down in the description below, which includes Instagram, Discord, and Twitter. Thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in my next video.